Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
After the euphoria of Wednesday night, were you able to celebrate and take it in?
Yeah, well, for a short period of time, yeah, it was a great evening. We had a lot of family and a lot of happy faces around the club, so it was a good moment. But immediately you have to switch it up, and now it's Ipswich and the Premier League.
What can a win like that do for the confidence and belief of this young team going forward?
Yeah, that we can compete in any context against any opposition, and now the next step is consistency. Do it in the Champions League at that level. Now we go to Ipswich against a really tough team and do it again.
And you mentioned about resetting. How hard is that for you to do in such a short space of time? Bottle that confidence, euphoria, belief, but also focus back on the league, and there's a lot still to play for.
Quite easy. Just review the Madrid game and immediately go to Ipswich and start to do all the preparation and start to watch the games. Again, we play against them, and what we learned over the last few months since we played them, how can we hurt them, their qualities, and start to do all the preparation towards the game.
How are the injuries looking, Jorginho and Mikel?
Yeah, Georgie is not going to be available yet, still struggling with that incident, and Ricky as well probably is not going to be available.
How would you rate Jorginho's chances playing in that semi-final first leg?
That's probably a question for the doctor. It's quite a specific and difficult matter, so I will leave that to the club to make an update.
If he's not fit, and obviously Thomas Partey's suspended, what are you thinking in terms of that midfield?
A few options.
Are you going to have to think outside the box again, as we've seen you do this season?
We have a few options, and obviously we're not going to get anything away.
Will you be confident, presumably, given what you've done already this season, how your team has adapted, your players have adapted, if you had to move things around again?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but it depends on the players as well, if they are comfortable doing certain things and how we can maximize our qualities in relation to the game we expect against them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Five from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Ipswich, it was a tight game, wasn't it, back in December, 1-0 win for Arsenal. Obviously, they have to win to avoid being relegated this weekend. So how different of a game are you expecting based on the one that you played in December, and how different of a game are you expecting based on the game you just played against Real Madrid?
Yeah, I understand where they are at the moment, and they're playing at home, and as you said, it's one of the few chances that they have. But for us, it's a big game. We need to start to win football matches in the Premier League to at least maintain the position that we are in, and to push into the last few games with some hope. And we know how tough it's going to be. They are a really well-organized team. I think what Kieran and the staff have done is remarkable, and you see every week how they perform and the amount of issues they give to opposition, so we expect a tough game.
Liam Delap has had a really good season. I think it's 12 Premier goals for him. How highly do you rate him as a forward player?
You know, I don't like to talk about any individuals of any opposition. As a team, they are very strong individually. They have players that can win you football matches. They've done it against big opponents, so we have to pay a lot of attention.
This weekend, the Premier League title could be wrapped up dependent on results in your game and obviously the Liverpool game as well. If that does happen this weekend, how important do the remainder of the Premier League games become for you, especially with the knock-on effect in terms of how your players perform in the Premier League then affects how they may well perform in that Champions League semi-final?
I'll make sure that we win the game and that doesn't happen.
And finally for me, I just wanted to ask about Declan Rice. Obviously, he's on 7 goals, 9 assists in all competitions this season, so that's the same as the whole of last season. How do you view him as a leader right now in your current group of players, and how much more of a leadership role do you think he could take on?
Well, he's earning more and more. I think performances like he had in this tie against Real Madrid, it just puts the player in a different dimension, and that's why we brought him here. That's why we demand him as well to take more steps and to be more decisive in games, because he can do it. We've been talking about it for the last few weeks, and to do it at this stage is not easy. He's done it 2 times in a row. Now he's maintaining that level of consistency, belief, and undoubtedly his role will be bigger and bigger.
Hi, Mikel. Just on the Champions League, I think sometimes there's a perception that it's better to have the second leg at home, but obviously against Real Madrid, first leg was at home, and I think, from my opinion, Arsenal really kind of set the tone. With the semi-finals, the first leg's also at home, so do you kind of view that as a similar thing you want to replicate? Because, I guess the neutrals probably would say it would be better to have the second leg?
Yeah, my preference has always been to play the second game at home, but it's what we have at the moment. So learn from it, see what the advantages and the opportunities where they are. I think if any of you watch any football yesterday on European nights, in the second leg is absolutely madness. You can go anywhere. So it's great to learn as well about these kind of scenarios and why these things happen, because it can be very useful for us.
And you said on the midfield you have a few options in your head. I was wondering, is Miles one of them? Because obviously we've spoken about him being a left back this year, but he's naturally a midfielder. So would the next few weeks be a good opportunity to give him some minutes in there?
It will be down to the availability of players in that moment, so who is available, who is able as well to do that, for how long in games, because as well we had players that they could not play 90 minutes, so once we are closer to that game we can decide.
Tom, Football London.
Hi Mikel.
Hi.
You mentioned you didn't really want to give much away about how you might replace Partey. You've got these 2 Premier League games before that PSG match. How do you balance perhaps practicing maybe without Partey, but at the same time not giving too much away to PSG about what you might do?
As always, a balance, understanding what the priorities are. The priority is one or is another. And then as well,